Back in July of 2019, the Senate Public Works and Energy Committee, under then-Chairman John Barrasso, voted unanimously out of committee a bipartisan infrastructure bill. The GOP is now proposing something that's very similar, which will include what I call real infrastructure and no massive tax hikes. So let's bring in the Senate mastermind for that bipartisan bill, Senator John Barrasso. As always, Senator, we appreciate your time, sir. Where does this stand? I heard Senator Capito say she saw maybe positive signals from Team Biden on the GOP plan. The GOP plan is a lot like what you brought out of committee 2 years ago. It's quite sensible, no big tax hikes, etc. Has anybody heard anything from Team Biden since that plan was put out publicly?
Well, yes, we have, Larry. Great to be with you. You're right. This is actually core infrastructure. Roads, bridges, ports, airports, the things that actually think of waterways, the things that people think of when they think of infrastructure. We've had a lot of interest from the White House. I visited with Senator Manchin last night, and today he's much more interested in this than this big tax and spend monstrosity that Joe Biden has laid out to the country, pretty much being pulled to that position by Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who seem to be the energy behind the Democrats right now.
So when you say you've heard good signals or good noises from the White House, I'm not asking for names. I've been in that. I understand that. But sort of, can you give us an example or an illustration? What gives you hope?
Well, Senator Capito is now the chairman of that committee, and she's been working with the White House and talking to them regularly. But I think that just as folks look at what we're proposing, this is what the American people want. And when you take a look at what is in the Biden monstrosity, and you ask people about that, they say, no, they don't want those sorts of things. We don't need those sorts of things in our nation. We can't afford those things for America. People know what they want. They want jobs. They want affordable energy. They want to be able to get their kids back to school. And the kind of borrowing and spending and now taxes that's being proposed by the Biden administration, way off the charts. And I think it's just going to be interesting to see what President Biden actually says to the nation tomorrow night, Larry, when he addresses the nation in the House of Representatives.
That's going to be a very important speech, and you're right, Senator. Undoubtedly, this infrastructure idea, his plan, is going to be front and center. You know, I'm on your side on this debate, of course, but I dare say Senator Sanders and House Member AOC and, you know, the big progressive left, I don't think they're going to let go, Senator Barrasso. I think they're going to continue to pull on Mr. Biden's coattails, maybe biting around the ankles. They're not going to let go. They're not going to be like a dog, junkyard dog. That's what worries me.
Well, I got to think when he stands there tomorrow, and he usually stands behind the seal, says seal of the president, I think it really ought to say sold out to the progressives. Because Joe Biden, who gave an inaugural address, you know, saying he was for unity and bipartisan, he has lost all credibility on that, Larry, completely, with the so-called coronavirus relief bill borrowing trillions of dollars, and only 9% of the money went for health care needs, and what he's proposing now on so-called infrastructure. You know, so little of that goes for roads and bridges, more money for electric vehicles than for roads and bridges and ports and airports and waterways. And now this next thing that they're talking about, which I call the everything free bill, you know, free for child care all the way through college. Look, he's given the keys to the White House to the far left wing of his party, people that are for big government programs and who are for socialism, who are demanding a defunding of the police, who are demanding open borders. And now he has his own commission on basically stacking the Supreme Court. That's where they are headed.
Well, yeah, that's the part that worries me. I don't think that crowd's going to let up. Can I just ask you real quick? You've invited your governor to testify on the oil and gas leasing on federal lands, and I would dare say critical minerals, too, on federal lands, which is so necessary. Do you think you can overturn this, or are we just going to have to live with it?
Well, Governor Mark Gordon of Wyoming was there to testify today about the fact that Joe Biden has declared war on American energy, and he has taken an axe to the energy jobs and the paychecks of those energy workers and a sledgehammer to those of us who like low energy costs. And the impact on the states have been dramatic, and that's what Governor Gordon talked about today. We're engaged, Wyoming, in a lawsuit against the federal government because of these executive orders by President Biden. They have basically stopped all leasing on oil and gas on public lands. And it's not just Wyoming. Rocky Mountain West has been hit by that dramatically. The money from that goes for schools, for education, for health care, for roads and bridges, all of the sorts of things that are important to a state, and the jobs and the paychecks that are related to it. So we're continuing to fight back. We're working in a bipartisan way to do it, because this administration is making affordable energy much, much harder, and all of these great energy jobs are seeming to go away.
Thank you, Senator Barrasso. Please keep up the fight, sir. Great stuff. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Great to be with you.